What do religion, corporations, and human rights all have in common? They're not natural. They exist only in our mind. But they've built empires. They've sent humans to the moon. They've justified wars and revolutions. And most importantly, they've shaped the very fabric of society. Today, we dive into Chapter 6 of Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, Building Pyramids, where we uncover how shared myths became the pillars of civilizations. Humans are unique not because we have big brains. Chimps have those too. We're unique because we can cooperate flexibly in large numbers. And what allows that? Shared beliefs. These aren't just any beliefs. They're imagined orders, stories, myths. Whether it's the belief in a god, a nation, or the stock market, humans create meaning through collective imagination. In small tribes, cooperation could be managed with personal relationships. But once we started living in larger societies, hundreds, thousands, even millions of people, we needed a new glue. Harari calls this glue the imagined order. So, what exactly is an imagined order? It is a belief system shared by many people that is accepted as real, even if it is not based on objective reality. Let's break it down. Human rights. There's no such thing as rights in the natural world. Lions don't give zebras the right to life. Money. That $100 bill in your wallet? It's just paper, but we believe it has value. Corporations. Apple, Amazon, Google, they don't exist in the physical sense. They're legal fictions backed by law and belief. These imagined orders are incredibly powerful. They allow total strangers to cooperate. You can walk into a bank, ask for a loan, and receive thousands of dollars, all because people believe in the banking system, the value of money, and your legal identity. Over time, these shared beliefs get embedded in institutions. Think of a pyramid, not just Egypt's literal pyramids, but hierarchies of power. Kings, priests, emperors, they didn't just demand obedience, they claimed divine authority. They used stories to legitimize their rule. The Catholic Church once convinced millions that the Pope's word came from God. European monarchs ruled by divine right. These stories were so persuasive, people were willing to die or kill for them. Now, here's the twist. The more powerful a society becomes, the more it depends on shared myths. But why? Because myths stabilize the social order. Imagine 100 strangers building a city. How do they decide who leads? Who works? Who gets more food? They need a story. Maybe that story says, the king is chosen by the gods, or all citizens are equal under the law. Either way, people believe it, and so they act accordingly. Harari writes, nothing is inherently unjust, only according to our imagined orders. Today, we still live in a world shaped by these myths. Democracy, capitalism, religion, human rights. They're not lies, but they're not objective truths either. They're collective agreements. Let's get real. No imagined order survives just on belief. It needs constant reinforcement. That's why we have education systems, legal codes, political rituals. From a young age, you're taught what's normal, what's right. Every time you pledge allegiance, use currency, or vote, you're reinforcing the myth. And if you rebel, there are consequences. You may be ostracized, punished, or worse. Harari argues that these systems don't just reflect power, they create it. So, are myths bad? Not necessarily. Shared myths have built cities, fed billions, ended slavery, and launched space missions. But they've also justified genocide, oppression, and inequality. Here's where it gets deep. We don't just believe these stories, we live them. We go into debt for them, go to war for them, raise our children by them, and often we forget they were invented in the first place. Let's take a modern example. Nation-states. Borders are imaginary, but people are willing to kill or die to protect them. Your nationality? Just a story written in passports and history books, but that story shapes your language, your rights, your identity. Or look at corporations. Apple is just a logo. Yet people stand in line for hours to buy a phone. They trust in the brand. They believe in the story it tells about innovation, status, identity. Modern pyramids, political, economic, technological, are all built on shared myths. What happens when people stop believing? Revolutions, collapse. New myths take the place of old ones. The French Revolution replaced divine monarchy with secular democracy. Communism tried to replace capitalism with classless society. Religions rise and fall, empires come and go. But the need for imagined orders? That never disappears. Harari reminds us, people are usually willing to suffer, even die, for a myth, as long as everyone else believes in it too. So, what's the takeaway from chapter 6? That we humans live in a world of stories. We built pyramids out of bricks, but also out of beliefs. Understanding this doesn't mean rejecting every system, but it does mean asking, whose story am I living? And is it one I chose, or one that was handed to me? Narrator. If this blew your mind, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments. What is one myth you believed, until you didn't? Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss Chapter 7 of Sapiens. Until then, stay curious.